What's going on, guys? Can't complain. It's been a great week here so far in Minnesota. We got a little bit of rain. We're starting to get that fall weather that I've talked about. I got a new scenery behind me. Check that out. Right this side. Right there. Bunch of Timberwolves card. This little thing right there, that's a Derrick Rose 50-point game ticket stub from when I went. Big stuff. I don't know if you guys saw today, but pretty big news in the NBA world. Did you see what Kawhi Leonard did and the Clippers? I guess the Clippers more so than Kawhi Leonard. Wasn't his fault, but it was because he definitely asked for it and they proceeded to do it for him. So, in case you missed it, he and the Clippers went around the salary cap to find him 28 million extra dollars. Now, I bet you're sitting there wondering, wow, I bet nothing like that's ever happened before. What a scandal for the NBA. No, actually, it has happened. I believe back in 1999. It happened with the Timberwolves and Joe Smith. Yeah, the Timberwolves blew up the entire franchise to get Joe Smith extra money. So, pretty cool stuff. But the details on that and what type of possible punishment could Kawhi be looking at? Well, the NBA fined the Timberwolves a then record 3.5 million, which is a lot of money. It would be a lot more now. I bet it would be probably close to 50 at least million. Like it would be double of what they got him paid for sure. Um, then they took the Timberwolves first round picks for the next 5 years and then voided all of Smith's short term contracts with the Timberwolves. So yeah, that's the type of punishment that Kawhi could be looking at here for needing some extra money because apparently he hasn't made enough in his career and needed to make more for the Clippers to lock him up and go there. But he was the biggest free agent of that kind of free agency summer. So kind of crazy to think about that someone else could have got him if Steve Ballmer and the folks over there at Clippers Central, whatever they call themselves over there. Didn't find him the extra money, but no, yeah, good work. That one really panned out. Kawhi and Paul George, who could have seen them winning 4 titles together, right? Oh wait, no, that didn't happen. They haven't been that good. Kawhi's barely been healthy. Paul George was a bum, and they got him off the team. James Harden's there now. They have some other nice pieces, but they're the unks over there. They're all averaging almost 40 years, that is. That's not 40 points a game. They're 40. They're literally the oldest team in the league by a long shot. It's not even close. So it's crazy that this is coming out, that this is happening. The Clippers are done. They're always going to be a little brother of the Lakers. They're done. They done. But that's enough about a rival. Let's not talk anymore about the bummy Clippers. Let's talk about a young Irish man that the Timberwolves have signed to an Exhibition 10. His name is CJ Fulton, if you're not familiar. He was a bit of a college hooper he was known. He was pretty okay in college, but he's looking to be the second ever Irish born player to log minutes in a regular season game for obviously the Timberwolves, but for in the NBA. So pretty crazy that we have a guy who could not set a record or whatever, but it's been a while since an Irish person has played in the league. So I'd be pretty happy for CJ Fulton. Now he's not spectacular by any means. He's not gonna come in and be a role player for us. He's definitely going to the Iowa Wolves in the G League. That's where we plan on sending him. But I do think it's pretty cool. It's a good opportunity for him. He was a good 4 year college player. Let's give him the preseason to at least show what he's got and to prove maybe not to us, maybe someone else comes and swoops him up and signs him to a full-time deal and he's playing in Charlotte or somewhere that's going to be playing for their 5th win in March. So good for the kid. I hope that it all works out for him and us. Honestly, I think yeah, yeah, why not? Vibes are high. I want to see him play. If he drops at least like 15 and I don't know. Aren't we playing one of the China teams from the CBL, CBA, whatever they call themselves? We're playing one of those teams. Can we get him out there and let him hoop? I'm down for it. It would be fun. Um, we haven't had someone who's I guess Rudy's French. I was gonna say we haven't had like a European player in a while. Rudy's French though. That is a problem. Oh well. Yeah, good for him. I don't know if you guys are following much of the Timberwolves kind of summer practices here, but Naz Reid showed up today. Some of the other guys have been practicing already. I think training camp is starting soon, so more and more people get in the door. But the rumor that's kind of floating around is that Dante is expected to be the starting point guard this season. Now, my guess is this kind of stems from what we've talked about, where Dante struggles unless he has the consistency that he desperately needs. And the greatest place to start with that is to get him in the starting lineup. Mike Conley, welcome to the bench. I don't think that would be a bad thing for Conley. He's getting older, and obviously, when he was starting, it's not like he was out there for long. He was coming in, and it was short stints, but a lot of them. I think it'd be better if Dante was in that role this year, and I think Finch kind of realized that. While Conley makes less mistakes than some of our other players since he's a veteran player, he just can't do it all anymore. He's going to go down as a Hall of Famer for sure. I will stand by those words. But I think this is a good thing for the team if Dante is starting. I mean, we pulled up the stats and he had his best season in New York when he was starting. That was for 60 some games compared to the 10 games that he started for us due to injury. So let me know what you guys think, if you want Dante to start or if you're fine with Conley starting and Dante coming off the bench. It's starting to feel weird. We're in kind of this weird spot of like, who is our true six man anymore? Like, I could see the six man still being Nas, but then you're trying to tell me that Dante's going to be the seventh man. No, it should probably be Conley at this point. Like, it starts to get weird. And I don't know. It's a weird thing to worry about, but it's a great problem to have if we don't know who our actual six man is. But I kind of like the idea of Dante starting. I want to see consistency in not only our kind of players, but in our lineup too, if that makes sense. Like last year, we saw the consistency, and if this year we can avoid injury, I'd really like to see what a full season of Randall and Ant and Jaden and Rudy and some combination of Dante or Mike Conley could look like. And that's our best bet to do so, is if we start Dante and we can at least see what the lineup looks like with him out there as opposed to Conley. I would expect that our assists kind of go down a little bit just because Conley's so good at swinging the rock. But we know Ant's kind of stepped up into that assisting role, and Dante is really good at not creating his own shot, but getting an open shot. And this lineup kind of gives us the most shooters possible outside of Rudy. But if Rudy were to get traded, which seems like it could be on the foreseeable future, this is a great lineup to work Nas into as well. He spaces the floor nicely, and then guess what? They have to guard five out deep and kind of pulls the center back because we know he can actually shoot if his name isn't Rudy Gobert. But anyways, let's get to the trade I have for you guys today. Could be one of the funniest trades in the world. And that would be is if the Timberwolves went all in on Lauri Markkanen. Now, Lauri, if you're not familiar, on draft day 2017, we traded for a man named Jimmy Butler. And in that trade, we sent Lauri Markkanen's trade rights to the Chicago Bulls and some other stuff, but who cares about that? Zach LaVine, Justin Patton, who cares? Who cares about those guys, right? But Lauri was part of that trade. Since then, Lauri's played for the Cavs, and now he plays for the Jazz. And what if we went and got back the guy that we could have had in a draft without spending a ton of capital on him to get him? That could work, right? Anyways, in this trade, could be the funniest trade ever because you guessed it, Rudy Gobert is going back to the Utah Jazz. Rudy, obviously, when he was a part of our kind of rebrand, redevelopment, retooling of the team, he helped our offense a ton. Like, he kind of made us assemble. So I think the Jazz trading for him back towards the tail end of his career, while he's not what he used to be, he's still a very good player. And I think it makes a lot of sense for him, especially if they want to start to see what they have in young guys. And maybe Lauri doesn't necessarily fit in their plans for the future. So we would be giving up Rudy, Dante, and Leonard Miller. That kind of stinks when you think about it on paper, but also Leonard Miller, mention again. That's got to be 10 videos in a row at least. But we're getting back Lauri to kind of fill in that power forward, could play the center position for us. We'd probably let Nas do that and just kind of slide everyone up in the lineup. I think. I mean, that's what I would do at least. And then we'd get a bench player in Svi Mikhailuk, and then we would also take on Isaiah Collier. Isaiah Collier is a point guard who I'm kind of excited on. I think he is a great passer. His assists last year were incredible. He was getting like 8 a game for at least like 20 plus games in a row. It was ridiculous. He's a guy I'd like to see in a lineup like ours where he's got a better team around him. I think it would accelerate him and raise his level of play. I think that trade honestly makes a lot of sense for both teams. The Jazz, we know they're in rebuild central over there. Colin Sexton's gone. Laurie looks like he could be a part of the plans, but if he's not, they could always get rid of him. Dylan Harper is going to be the man over there. Dylan Harper? Is that who they... Am I crazy? Did they not draft Dylan Harper? Who am I thinking of? I'm having a complete brain fog over who the Jazz drafted. I'm gonna be punching myself on tomorrow's episode when I start it with I'm sorry I forgot the Jazz drafted blankety blank. Let's pull that up while I'm talking here. But how am I not remembering who they drafted? What's this kid's name? I was Oh yeah, no, that's because I thought the Jazz had second overall. No, how could I forget that they slid in the actual draft because lottery. Ace Bailey, that's his name. I knew it was something stupid. Obviously, they got Ace Bailey, who's going to start to be their kind of star player, I think. They have other young pieces. Cody Williams, I don't think he's going to last much longer. They got, yeah, dude, I don't know. They got guys. And I think getting Laurie out of there and his $46 million a year seems like it could be on the horizon for them. So, Timberwolves, let's go make that move. But that's all I've got for you guys today. I saw someone comment a player. I was going to mention him. And it was Stephen Marbury. Yeah, Starberry Marbury. The one and only. But that's it. Take care, guys. See you next time.